So let's go into rejectors. Did you have anything else to say with that? And then we want to kind of wrap these particular pieces up.
Okay. So last but not the least are the rejectors. These guys, these guys deny your talents, they hinder your efforts, and they impede your vision. These are grade E or F. These people are toxic, they're deliberate, they're skeptical, and they're naysayers. They don't believe in you, they don't believe in your dreams, they don't, and a lot of times they're the people that will tell you things like, who do you think you are to XYZ? That's a rejector. Wow. You know, the who do you think you are people are rejectors until proven otherwise. Wow. Yeah. The people that pop up and remind you of how you used to be back in the day, and that's always the framework in which they address you. Never mind the fact that maybe now you're the president of the world, but they want to remind you how back in the day you used to stand on your head in the alleyways or whatever.
What I used to do. Remind you of what you used to do. The rejectors. These people pop up and remind you of how you used to be back in the day. Yep. A certain person I knew showed up, that's you, as a rejector when you used to use the phrase, what is all this you doing? And I hear that often, to be honest, by different people. Some I know are rejectors. Some I know that they just truly don't understand what I'm doing. Some may be on that borderline of reducers. But I do see some of the rejectors. They come in, it's like they come in like Judas. You know, hey, I'm going to come in and you think you all of that. Or what else are you doing? And when they say, what else are you doing? Sometimes they really don't want to know what I'm doing because I hear the next statement that they make. Let me be clear. That's why I know that. They'll say, what else are you doing? Before I can tell them what else I'm actually doing, they continue to talk and make other comments. Yes. Okay. So that sounds like a rejector to me. Yes. Right? Because here's the deal. If you really don't want to hear what I have to say, don't pretend we're friends. No. And don't ask me any questions. Yeah, and don't ask me questions. Because when you ask me questions, I'm going to flood open and really share with you if I believe you really are sincere. Yes. Don't waste my time with people. I know when I start talking and they start cutting me off, I'm like, oh, okay, this person they really don't want to hear what I have to say. Come on, this is open and unashamed. This is the truth of the matter. Exactly. So for people who are listening, we talked last time about being active listeners. Yes. When you're active listeners and you are truly responding in a healthy way, then we can identify if you're rejectors or not. That's when trust is being built, right? That's when friendship, whatever type of friendship we want to have, that's what's being built. One of the scriptures I was looking on here, the Lord was giving me, I'm telling you, I was reading it and I was looking at scriptures and I said, okay, this is good. I'm looking at the scripture that Proverbs 22, 24 and 25, but the Amplified version, I thought I had it in front of me, but I don't. So it says, make no friendship with a man that gives to anger, nor go with a wrathful man, lest you learn his ways and entangle yourself in a snare. Be not one of those who give pledges, who put up security for debts. If you have nothing with which to pay, why should your bed be taken from under you? So if nothing else,
repo man. That's the repo man.
Come on. The repo. I'm coming to get my stuff. I said I love you. I said you're my friend. I said we cool, but you're really not. Make no friendship with a man that gives anger. So when you are having conversations with individuals and they're angry all the time, they respond a certain way, be careful. I'm just saying. Yes. Because it changes your mood. So I love all of these. Before we go into relationships, I think we're going to do that in our next podcast. Okay. I just want to know, I want to say, first of all, I love this book. I love these particular topics because they are real and they help us identify who we are, what we give, okay, and what we can have as far as an expectation in relationships. I do have some expectations in relationships. I don't put people on a pedestal. No. But I do have expectations so that I can walk in health, good health and wellness, so that I can have peace. Okay. I'm not saying we won't have trials, but if I know we both come from a good place, then we can deal with these situations. So if I thought you were a rejecter, right, and you always nasty when I see you, every now and then I may check you. Let's deal with this. Because if you're family, I'm gonna run into you again. Yes. If you're a coworker, I'm gonna run into you again. You understand what I'm saying? So when you have these rejectors, I'm limited maybe in what I have to say to you concerning my own personal business. And then I may have to help guide you. Let's be clear. Do you really want to know about me? For real? Because if you really want to know about me, we can spend some time together and we can do that. But if you don't want to, because this is what I'm hearing when you talk to me, then let's deal with the confrontation. Dr. Shola, many times people avoid confrontation.
Yes.
Right? So when rejections come, they let them do what they do. And you keep allowing them in your space. Right? So I'd like for you to kind of end on just kind of talk a little bit about that. How can we either guide these people, stop these people, and keep it moving? Or what do we do in situations like this?
Okay. So I think the first thing I tell people is take an objective look at your closest relationships. Because if the people who aren't close to you are rejectors, I mean, who cares? They're not close to you anyway. But look at your closest relationships without sentiment. I think some of our biggest problems as believers, to be honest, is that we're too sentimental. Like, what is this? We're too sentimental. Instead of using everybody. We have to be discerning, spiritual, and nuanced. And remember, God gave you a brain as well as a soul. So sentiment is not a fruit of the spirit.
Sentiment is not love. Is that what you're saying?
It's not love. It's just, this person has been around me for a long time. Oh, their great-grandfather sold my great-grandfather a piece of land for $5. So now we have to be friends no matter what the person does, and no matter how they act, and no matter how ignorant they are. What? Are you kidding me? Look at your closest relationships and know who is who.
Yes, come on.
Very simple. With knowledge is power. When you know that Mr. X is a rejecter or reducer or whatever, then you can start to limit the amount of emotional permission these people have in your life. That's me to number 2. So you set boundaries around your time, your energy, and your resources as far as rejectors and reducers are concerned. You don't let these people ride roughshod into your life all the time. And then now you're running around crying, looking for somebody to help you because somebody has just talked you out of the greatest dreams of your life. Now you're standing there wringing your hands. You don't know what to do. You feel bad. They've sucked all the good energy out of you. Bad company corrupts good manners.
It does. That's what the scripture
was just talking
about.
Rejectors and reducers are bad company. They corrupt. Corrupt literally means to rot something. Who wants to be rotted by other people?
That's not me. Walking around stinking and don't know.
Exactly. So when we start to think about this in terms of the downstream effects in our lives, then we can be more serious about them. You want to spend as little time with rejectors and reducers as possible. The next thing to do is expand your circle of friends. I hear people say this all the time. It's hard to make friends when you're not in high school. It's not true. It's a lie. People make friends all the time. I make friends all the time, every day. I just made 2 new friends last week.
Did you say it's hard to make friends when what? What was the example?
When you're out of high school. So are you?
You really don't even have friends in high school.
They're just playmates.
Playmates, and most of the time bullies, and a lot of the time rejectors, because they don't know. They're learning. They're discovering who they are as teenagers, right?
So people, don't make effort to find new friends because they're sentimentally attached to their old friends who are pulling them down, rejecting and reducing. Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of new friends out here who are literally just almost like when you see them, they're so happy to see you. They want to help you succeed. They're like, oh my goodness, you're amazing. And you're looking at them like, where have you been all my life?
Where have you been all my life?
You know, I make new friends all the time because I'm not, I haven't told myself this mindset that, oh, once you're over a certain age, it's hard to make friends. It's just not true. You know,
what age is that used to tell yourself that erratic behavior, that irrational behavior, that irrational thought, rather?
Like people, I think I've seen it a lot of people when they're like in their 30s and 40s, they say things like, it's hard to make friends as an adult. It's hard to make friends as an adult. But you know, I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's just like people say something to themselves over and over for so long that they find a reflector, right? A negative reflector who's saying those same things, right? And now the two of them are bouncing off each other in a negative way. You know, they're bouncing off each other in a negative way. Like people get to go, oh my goodness, oh, like there's bunches of doctors who have this coaching is a scam mentality. And all of them need coaches, but we won't go there. So, but then they get together in these silos and that's all they talk about. And you look at them and you're like, you guys need help. You know, so reflectors actually can be negative if you're reflecting the wrong thing off of each other.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
So you have to expand your circle of friends to include refreshers, refiners, and positive reflectors. And most importantly, be the change you want to see in the world. And then let me add this one. Ask God to guide your steps. There are so many scriptures about guidance. I will guide you with my eye. When you turn to the left or the right, you will hear a voice saying, this is the way, walk in it. Ask God. It's your Father. Asking God is not only about, you know, maybe praying for supernatural events. God cares about our everyday life. God cares about friendship too. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. So a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. You need friends who are iron, not jelly.
Absolutely.
What's the point of having a bunch of hangers
bodies
on? Yeah, exactly. Bodies in the room. You know, literally. You know, the other day I posted something on TikTok and I said, if your circle is not in your corner, your circle has become a cage and you need to jump out.
Yeah, because then it's no longer a circle. When you were saying that, I could see it. It's no longer a circle. It becomes a rectangle or a square. And it becomes a box. And you begin to be boxed in again and again and again. Let's be clear, everyone. Sometimes you got to come out. Sometimes your circle changes. I mean, it changes. It may change with your age. It may change with your career. It may change with your needs. Don't be afraid of the change.
Yes.
Okay. In our next podcast, we're going to talk a little bit more about friendships. Don't be afraid of this change, though. We wanted to make sure that you were encouraged. Dr. Shola brought this up. We've been talking about friendship. We would start talking about relationship and friendship anyway. And then she reminded me, hey, I have this in my book. Let's talk a little bit about these R's, okay?
Yes.
Let's get restored and talk about these R's. And so hopefully you have enjoyed today. Hopefully you'll go take a look in the mirror yourself. See who you are to others. Who do you represent? Like my friend just said, hey, you're going to look, you're going to see, are you the one that's, you know, still in this circle? Are you outside of the circle? Are you limiting God? Are you searching? Are you actually asking God? Who's supposed to be in your space? And don't be afraid of change. All of these folk may not be your friends. They may just pass along the way. A refiner may drop a word on you while you're in the store. Real talk. I've been hemmed up like an hour. Like, okay, what are we doing? It had so much information that was, you know, revealed. I'm just saying to you, be encouraged and really go and take a reflection at what type of friendships are you developing? Who are you to people? And be the one who you want to be as far as to change the world. You want to be the world changer, change the world. Don't keep looking for other people to do it. Okay. And so we're going to conclude this podcast. Did you have anything else you want to say to Open and Unashamed? We appreciate people for listening today. And we are just hoping that you have been blessed today.
No, I don't have anything else to add, but just remember you have refreshers, refiners, reflectors, reducers and rejectors.
And reducers and rejectors.
Yes.
All right. Keep in mind that sometimes they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the God in you. So don't get angry when they're rejecting you. So God bless you all.